Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. Let's talk a little bit about Meghan McCain and the absolute hypocrisy and her own points going just so clearly over her head and how this ties into identity politics and white privilege. So, for those who don't know for whatever reason, Meghan McCain was on The View saying how it's not a good thing that Senator Tammy Duckworth is saying that she will begin blocking certain cabinet appointments by Joe Biden if he doesn't appoint someone from an Asian American and Pacific Islander background who is just as qualified to that post. I'm skipping over a lot of stuff there, but that's basically what that was about. And Meghan McCain goes on to do this whole rant about its identity politics and, we haven't had an Asian host on The View. In The View's 25 years, we've had like one Asian host. So, does that mean one of us should leave? Yeah, Meghan, it should be you because you're only on The View because of identity politics. No one would know or care who you are if it wasn't for your father, Senator John McCain. And yet here you are, once again, as a white person, feeling content to act as an authority on a matter, especially pertaining to race. That's not all, folks. So here's the thing. She used another point that I absolutely detest when conservatives use. So let's put a pin in this right now and end this. A lot of conservatives love to try and say, oh, well, MLK wouldn't approve of this because he said that, I have a dream that people will be judged not on the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So here's a few things, right? On the one hand, he said that knowing full well that black people and other minorities were being judged and continue to be judged today, arguably, by their skin color in terms of, oh, they must be a criminal. They must be doing something shady. We see instances of this all the time in the modern world. And the idea was that race wouldn't play an issue in hiring people. But as we see, it absolutely does. People who put, the exact same resumes, if they put a white name versus a more African American name, or a ethnic name, or a Muslim sounding name, it could be the exact same resume, and the white person will be picked time and time again. That actually directly ties into this, but instead it's trying to literally use MLK as a cudgel to silence black voices because you are made uncomfortable by what these other black voices are trying to tell you. Or what other voices, such as Latin American voices, Asian American Pacific Islander voices, Muslim voices, Arab voices, voices from the Indian subcontinent, indigenous voices, like so many voices. When people try and speak out, they love to trot out this MLK quote about, oh, it's about, by the content of their character. Yeah. And we're still trying to address that, which you are blatantly ignoring by trying to use that point. It's ridiculous. And it's also borderline obscene, if I'm being honest. Meghan McCain, to bring this all back to that, beyond her having this job because she's only famous because of her father, it also smacks of white privilege where that can happen. And additionally, in another aspect of white privilege, touches on the unfortunate reality that once again, she is feeling like she can speak on a subject when she has absolutely no authority. The View is not exactly a gathering of the greatest intellectual minds that humanity has to offer. No offense to the hosts. This isn't some grand council of societal direction and control. It is a group of people talking about things and becoming a forum for debate that an expert does not make. And yet here she is presenting herself as if she were an authority, both on the words of Martin Luther King and on identity politics, which she herself has benefited from. It is so so offensive. And yet, unfortunately, she does not realize it. And she is not alone. There are many others out there who feel free to speak with authority and who do not realize that they have neither the authority nor the place to do so. There's millions of them out there, be they in America, here in Canada, in Britain, France, Australia. These people are everywhere. And they're, I don't know if you want to call it their overinflated ego, sense of self-worth, whatever you want to call it, it is unfortunately everywhere. It is a disease because they're speaking or trying to speak with authority on things that they do not know about and do not have a lot of education on, nor have they truly informed themselves, because they just feel that how they feel, their own internalized set of moral values, that is right, that is the only possible answer, when it's not. And yet they pretend that it is. And the fact that people like Meghan McCain feel inclined to do so, and there's millions of people like her out there, is definitely what's bothering me today.